Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. So I have shown you what it looks like on the outside after I brought the houseplants in, but this is how it looks on the inside. There's just not much room for anything else but houseplants in when winter comes. And when I first bring these in, I think they're pretty. But you know, it doesn't take long for leaves to start falling all over the place. And I don't know, I'm not just really a houseplant person. If I didn't just love these plants so much, I wouldn't have houseplants. But since I can keep them outside for the biggest part of the time, I just have to try to save them through the winter. And I'm actually getting a little better, and I hope I don't say that too loud, because you know sometimes you don't know whether to say something or not to, because you know you're snared by the words of your mouth. If you say you can't, you probably can't. But if you say you can, sometimes you're just jinxing yourself. So we'll see how it will work. And I just took these little leaves off because they're yellow and they'll soon be totally dead. Now it looks much better. And today is October the 7th, and we're still having some pretty warm days, although we are having a little bit cooler nights. And today was really nice. It was nice for just being outside, which I wasn't out very much. I came out and did a little liquid edging, and then I ran out of the liquid edger that I use, and so I had to wait until I go into town and get some more of that to finish up my job. I tried to do some work on the computer, and I ran out of ink, so it's not exactly been my day. But whoa, I just messed up again. So it hasn't exactly been my day, but those things happen, you know, so I'll just have to try again tomorrow. It's one of my favorite lines, as you know, from the movie A Brilliant Mind. Maybe try again tomorrow. Look at this beautiful heather plant. It's always the prettiest at the end of fall when it fills out and blooms, and I just love the pretty purple with this kind of a turquoise blue. There are still some things I want to take in, of course. I haven't taken any of the clipping. Well, did actually get a few of my Purple Heart things to take in, because some of them just broke off as they got bigger, and I thought these will make good little starts for next year. I do want to get this little one. I've told you this is called an artillery fern, and I just think it's so pretty, and the bigger it gets, the prettier it is, of course. So I'm still enjoying the plants. We still have lots of pretty plants, and I'm not real anxious for that first frost. I could just go like this for much longer time. I was tired of that heat, but I'm not tired of the garden, because I didn't really feel like I got to spend a lot of time in the garden except to work in it, and that counts, but it doesn't count on that time when you're enjoying the garden necessarily. And I definitely want to get some clippings like of this ursine and some of my coleuses also, and take some of them in and try to save them through the winter. And look at this lovely little geranium. I can hear my neighbors. I bet you can too. They're screeching and screaming and having all kinds of fun over there, I guess. But I wanted to tell you that my sister called and said that one of her dogs, and she figured it might already, she had already warned me that it'd probably get out there because that was its place to roll, and so it got out and uprooted the irises that I gave her. But I have lots of iris I need to go ahead and thin out myself anyway, so I want to get that done at some point, but that is not high on my priority list, so I don't know if I will get it done because I still need to dig up all the caladiums, the elephant ears, this pretty little pineapple lily, and this other one that didn't do so great this year, but it still has a great bulb that may do great next year. It looks like I might have a tomato. And maybe some others will ripen up later. And there are several house plants I still need to take in, or non-hardy plants like this aloe vera plant. I'll need to take it inside, and of course I'm running out of room to put anything inside. This is another one that I will want to take out of its pot and save the bulb and plant it again next year. I'll probably try to save this little begonia. I took the bigger one that I have in, or the wider one. This one is actually a good size, and it'll have a good stem, so hopefully it will, a good thick stem, which may help it to last long enough to make it through the winter to come back out in the spring. And I want to get a little bit of starts of the sweet potato vine, and also I still haven't got in this little black lotus plant. I'll want to take this inside. I'm not sure if I want to just let it go dormant or if I want to try to keep it going through the winter. I'm not sure the best way to go with that, because I have found out that for those Purple Heart, for me anyway, it's much better just to let them totally go dormant and bring them out in the spring and let them just come back to life when the first rains come. And that may work for this, but this will be my first time to have it inside. So I came over here a little closer to it so you could see it. And if you can tell, these pretty black lotus blooms, they look like velvet, and it's a pretty little ferny, like, maybe not ferny, but it's those tiny little leaves that just kind of open up and look a little filigree. They just look very pretty. And I don't know whether to just kind of trim some of this off and take it inside and hope it'll go dormant and then come back from the root, which lots of things work better that way, but some of them actually do better if you try to just keep them and just water them a little bit through the winter and keep them going. So it'll be an experiment to see what will happen. And look at these beautiful little zinnias, these pretty creamsicle color. I love that. I'll try to save seed from these also. And you can tell that the mums are beginning to open up. These haven't quite opened yet, but a few of them have right down here, so you can tell we're starting to get some color from the mums in the garden too. And it won't be long till we have a lot more. And the cotton candy grass is looking good. Or the pink mully grass. And these are the cosmos and the red strawberry fields, Gomfrina. And so far I've been lucky enough not to get so to say a bunch of, but I haven't seen any since this spring, and only been just a little bit of them, and they did not just destroy all my blooms this year. But I did see some of the little tiny black beetles that were just eating up the blooms that had opened on my roses. I haven't seen any on the chrysanthemums yet, but that's my fear, because that's what happened before with those cucumber beetles. They just destroyed. They went from the petunias and roses right to the chrysanthemums, and there was no chrysanthemum except the little dot in the center. They ate all the petals off of them. So, but they did not do that this year, and I hope they don't. And also these little creamsicle mums are beginning to open too. They'll look like this, like a little daisy mum, and I love this color. And even after I've gotten everything in, I'll definitely want to come out and cover or put a great deal of mulch around some things like this little black and blue salvia, because it won't live if it's not really covered well. It doesn't like a cold winter, but it can live through a mild winter, or if it's covered good with mulch. And I get this little bright pink salvia coming back every year. It does so wonderfully, unless of course a rodent takes out its root, which that has happened before, but this is coming back from that. And well, not actually from that. I had to buy another one and then take a little cutting of it and put here, and it's doing well now too. So, and I've never had any trouble with it not coming back after the winter. But this little purple salvia that is so much like it, and yet it doesn't grow that fast for me. I've had two of them in the past and lost them both, and I did mulch them, but they just didn't make it. So my friend got me this, and she actually purchased it for me while we were shopping together for flowers, and I loved it so much, but I thought I'll just kill it. I've done it two times before, and I was about ready to give up on it and just try to go for something that I was pretty sure would live. But look at it, it's looking so beautiful. Don't you just love that bright, beautiful purple color? So I'm hoping to mulch this really good, and I'm hoping it will come back for me next year. We'll have to see if that will happen. This little pot of mums has been open for quite some time, but right next to it, in a matching pot, this one has not opened up yet, but it's planning on it, I can tell. So I'm anxious to see it in its full bloom. And I wanted to show you some of those little black beetles that were clustered up in all of my roses. This one's about to fall off, and it's from them doing that, but I'm not seeing any. But that's really a good thing. That means that insecticide took care of them, at least for now, and hopefully they won't make it back. But oh my, well, at least I can show you some, because I'm seeing them right here. Can you see that little black dot on there? It's one of those beetles, those little tiny bugs. I think I saw two on there when I went for it, but they also fly, so I probably missed some of them, but hopefully they won't be able to just really take over like they did that one time. And that time it was my fault, because I was so sure, oh, they look just like a ladybug, only they're green. So I thought they were probably their cousin and they were just some of the good bugs, but no, not the case at all. Not good. And there is so much I could be doing in the garden, but you know what I want to do? I want to just enjoy the garden. I had to take a minute there to squish a mosquito, but I do want to just be able to enjoy the garden. And now that the weather is nice enough that there are times when I can, I've just had so many other things I've had to deal with that I really haven't had time to do that yet, and time is running out for the garden. So if you have a garden, do you dream about going out and sitting there with a glass of iced tea or something refreshing and something that you can relax with? And then the next question is, do you ever get to do that? You know, I think the only way we can possibly do it is to put it on our list, and then it's going to be way down to the bottom. I also gave this little rose a little spray when I was spraying all the roses. And I did go ahead and put some, can you see that plastic fencing that I put around this? I put it all the way up to the top, and then because this wants to keep going at the top too, I put a little screen around it, and I do not know if this will work for me at all, but I'm going to try it, and it kind of seems to be working a bit. It hasn't splayed out from totally out from it yet, so that might kind of contain it. We'll see how that will go, but I feel good that at least I got it for where we can try it. And I'm anxious for this little one to fill all the way out too, because it's such a bright, pretty, kind of a brick red, but still has some brightness to it. I like this. I can just hear my mother's second husband saying, "You ought to know if Nancy got your mama something, it would be red." I didn't even notice that I liked red that much, and then my daughter said that one time too. She said, "You always pick a red flower." So I don't think of red as being my favorite color, but I don't think of any color that I don't love. Look at this little bright neon yellow. And then of course this orange, or burnt orange, it screams fall. I love the fall mums. I love the colors. And this beautiful little color of a rose is where I first noticed that those little beetles, or whatever they are, were just bunched up on them just terribly. But you can tell they're looking a whole lot better today. And it looks like I need to go get that insecticide again, because I did not spray this little mum, and you can see those little black beetle things just all over it. I was getting close to it because I was going to tell you that I had one of the quilled mums here, and I think this may still be one of them coming up. I thought I might have lost the quill one, but I think this is what it is. Either way, it's pretty, and either way, I don't want those bugs on it. But before I go get the spray, I wanted to show you this because I saw it when I was on the other side over there, and I wanted to point it out to you because this is such a pretty little rose. I love the coloring on it. And there's another one of those little beetles on it too, so I will spray it when I spray them. But isn't it beautiful? And I looked over at these two a little closer, and you can see there's those beetles on there. So I'm pretty sure if I don't get all these sprayed, they will end up eating the leaves or the little petals off of them, leave that little yellow dot, and it'll look like all we have is a little yellow dotted plant out here. If they even leave that. This one's right on that dot, but I think they do leave that. That's been my experience, but I want the petals as well. And I'm still enjoying the sedum. This is the Autumn Joy sedum. And I love the little sedums that are just tiny and fill out a pot. And I think I may put some of the sedums in those places where I'm not really having any luck with anything like that strawberry pyramid in the other little pot that I have similar to this in the front. The petunias I put there just kind of were overgrown looking in it, and I could trim them back, of course, and I did, but it doesn't take them long to just reach right back out there. They just don't really fit in these small pots like this does. I've also thought about using the alyssum because I think that would be pretty in these little pots, but it's kind of hard to tell because sometimes you think it will and then you get it in there and it just doesn't work. I thought the petunias would look great in there, but they didn't really do anything that I liked that much. So I'll be changing that next season if I get to do it for another season. Another look at that pretty rose. And I have a little hosta here that I have been watering and checking on, and it's so small, but I'm hoping it will continue to grow and get big and beautiful right there. Hopefully right now my thought is that it will hopefully come back in the spring and go again. And I did trim some of this Wilgula, if that's the correct way to say that. This is a pretty little plant in the spring. I did trim some of it off though because I couldn't hardly get through my path, and even though that'll stop that part from blooming because it's not going to be there, and it also took off its bloom when I cut it off, I think I'll still like that better because this part will still bloom, and it does have a pretty pink bloom on it when it does. And I can see my little Autumn Joy clematis coming up this little trellis, and it just are a blisk, and it looks very good there, even though just green, but it's really, of course, the prettiest when it shows its pretty white blooms in the fall. And I'm also noticing that this little sedum is beginning to have some of its fall color on it. This one will turn almost totally orange by the end of the fall, if we have a long enough fall and the frost doesn't kill it before it does that. But it's actually beginning to get dark, so that's one thing about when the fall comes and the cooler weather comes. You have still less time to enjoy it. And I need to take this little pot in, but you know, that little bunch of plants I got in there are looking so good now. I want them to go ahead and have their chance to shine in the garden. Even had a few of my little calibrachoa to go ahead and bloom. So pretty. But I'm thinking I better go ahead and get that insecticide and spray those few little mums and roses so that I can do it before it gets dark and go ahead and let the garden go again till tomorrow. And thank you so much for walking through the garden with me. Please don't forget to like and to subscribe and help me keep my channel going. And even as I say that, I am planning on stopping again for the winter. I just have some other things I want to get done. I'm trying to write my book, and I did actually get, I thought I wasn't going to get back on here at all for no telling how long, because I had no idea how long it might take me. But I got so much of it done that I decided, well, I'll do it during the winter and do the garden during the summer. So that's still my plan, and we'll see how far I get on it this winter. And then when it comes out for sale, please be sure and look for it and purchase it, and I'll tell you the name and everything a little later when all that starts happening, and hopefully it will. I'm still waiting to see if I get that done. That's the last thing on my to-do list that I want to be done, you know, like for a bucket list, the things that I'll get to actually do before I die. I hope that will happen for me. I've always dreamed of it, and you know, I dreamed of doing the DVDs too, and that's not going to happen. But I'm going to pick up a big old limb here that fell off of my weeping willow tree. But God has been very good to me, and I feel like He wants me to write my book. So I'm planning on doing it if He gives me time, and if He doesn't, I used to really worry that I wouldn't have it, because I've already got a little bit of it now, so I'm on my way, like Toby Keith's song said. But hopefully that will work, but we will see. And whether it does or not, I just want to do my best, and I hope the Lord will be proud of me. And this is another little pot. I don't really know what to do to save it, but I think I'm going to try to clip off some of the double impatiens and save them in a glass of water, and then go ahead and take this little whole pot inside too, and just let it go dormant and see if it can come back to life again in the spring. Look at these beautiful impatiens here. Is that red? Of course, that's orangey red. And this little pot has done wonderfully too. And I will definitely want to take in a few of these little wandering Jew and try to save them for next year. Look at these pretty cannas that my friend Alma gave me. This is my first year to have them, but look at this pretty bloom. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.